Good afternoon, Facebook. I'm just getting my selfie stick set up here. Sorry. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna get through some of this information for the video, and then I'll take you for a walk through my office, and maybe we can even see some of the ISAs doing some live calls. But what I wanted to start off talking about is going over some of the things that I'm seeing as to why your business is failing. Okay, I'm gonna set this selfie stick up so I'm not holding on to this. Okay, perfect, here we go. Why is your business failing? And one of the biggest things that I see is that when we get into real estate, we forget we're in sales. And you go to these clients, and if they're not ready right now, you lose all interest in it. And I see this time and time again, okay? I don't do a lot of these real talk with you guys, and in the last couple of months, I have seen so many leads go to waste because the person who hires me or their buyer's agents don't want to put in the work to talk to these leads because they're not ready right now, okay? So I put this in writing. Here we are. Why is your business failing? You only want the clients who are ready to go right now. This is a huge fail, okay? You guys need to wake up. You are in sales, okay? In sales, you have to provide value before somebody's going to buy from you. Now, I think we've all been a little bit spoiled with these clients who are ready, willing, and able now. We get spoiled by referrals. Those are our 5 to 15%. When you're in sales and you're working with a cold client, they have questions. Most of our leads that we get through ISA work have questions for you. They want to know what you can do for them. They want to know how much you can sell their house for. They want to know if the house that they want exists. They want to know if there's a loan package out there for them. They want to talk to the lender. They want to talk to you. They want to know why you're different from them. Okay, just imagine if everybody out there who went to go buy a car, when they drove up to the sales lot and the salesman says, "Great, what are you here today for?" And they go, "Well, I'm not sure. I don't know if I want the Honda Civic or if I want the Accord." And the salesperson says, "Okay, great, call me when you figure it out." And he goes inside and waits for the person that comes to him and knows exactly what he wants. That's not what we're in this business for, you guys. Yes, I understand that a lot of you got into this business to make a lot of money really fast, and you can, but you have to bring value. When we're doing cold calls, this isn't a referral database. This isn't your SOI, your sphere of influence. This isn't the friend of a coworker that referred them to you that has used you before in the past. This isn't your cousin. This isn't your mom. This isn't your aunt. They're not going to excuse the fact that you forgot to call them for 2 days. They're not going to justify in their mind that you're still really good at your job if you forget to do something that you promised to do, okay? So anyone that's in real estate or a commission-based business, you are in sales. You don't get the money until you do the work. That's how that works. Now, when I built my database, I built it on maybes. I built it by returning phone calls. I built it by doing outbound calls. I called FSBOs. I said, "How can I help you? Do you need to buy a home? It looks like you got this taken care of. Your price needs to be adjusted. You could stage it a little bit differently, but it looks like you know what you're doing." Even if they don't know what they're doing, this was my talk to them, right? It looks like you have this handled. How can I help you? Do you have somebody helping you buy a home? And they always say no. Great. Well, are you going to buy a home when this one sells? Yes, I am. Okay, have you looked at anything? No, I haven't had time. Well, I can imagine you're doing my job. And I know that me helping you sell your home is a full-time job, so I know how busy you are, right? You got to make sure people are pre-qualified. You got to meet them there for their showings. You got to be able to open up the door. You got to keep your house clean, right? I know what you're going through, Mr. and Mrs. FSBO, okay? So how about you tell me what you're looking for and I can help you buy a house? Oh, okay, that sounds great. And I don't pressure them to list their home because that's not what they want. That's not the value that I can bring to them. But I know that I'm gonna make 2.5% to 3% by helping them find their next home. So why the hell do I care about their listing? That's not my focus. Okay, I get the buyer broker agreement signed. I send them homes of value. I show them homes. And guess what? when I find them their home, which was usually another FSBO, okay, which I had another commission agreement signed with that FSBO, I got to list their home because now they found their perfect home and they need to sell their home quick and they don't have time. Or they just got to know me and they really like me after 3 times of me doing what I said I was going to do, and they wanted to work with me. What they don't want is pushy real estate agents calling them, telling them that they're idiots and they can't do it themselves and not bringing anything of value to them. That's why your FSBO stuff isn't working. Okay, I cannot call FSBOs in this market and say, hey, you can't sell it on your own. Let me do it for you. It doesn't work because guess what? FSBOs are selling. If they can sell, they're selling. And most of the time when they do sell, these people already bought another home. And they didn't have anybody helping them. They found their agent where? On Zillow. So all of these real estate agents that make all of these phone calls nationwide to for sale by owners, everybody that has a subscription to Vulcan 7, everybody that hits Craigslist, everybody that goes through the MLS FSBO, all of you guys, you're missing it. You're pushing these FSBOs to Zillow to find an agent on Zillow. Okay, and I know that for a fact because when we call through your Zillow leads, these people have a for sale by owner. Or when we call a for sale by owner, if they do have an agent, they found them on Zillow. And we know that through conversation. Okay, so the business is out there, but I think we've been a little bit spoiled by not having to work for it. We don't want to drive anymore. We don't want to go to somebody's house unless we have the contract signed. We don't want to make the phone call unless we know they want to do something. It's ridiculous. It's 100% ridiculous. Just as ridiculous as you doing your own cold calls. Okay? Now, why would you sit down and dial 100 phone numbers to talk to 20 people to find the 5 people that want to talk to you again when I can do that for you? Okay? Just like when I pass over those 5 people that want to hear from you and you don't think that they're worth your time. Even though you know they want to sell a home eventually, but they have to find a home to buy first. They need to talk to a lender and they want to know why you think their home didn't sell before. Now just imagine if you got 5 people like that to where you could read the notes and say, okay, this person does want to do something eventually. They just want to hear from me. They want to hear about how I can help them. They want to know that their single story home in this particular school district for around $325 exists. They want to know that before they see you in person. Or if they invite you into their home, they want to know that you can help them before they're going to sign a contract. This is all part of sales. Okay, so now let's go to FSBOs again because FSBOs are a very touchy subject right now. I do 5 to 7 consultation calls a day talking to real estate agents just like you on how my ISA company can help them. And when they ask me about FSBOs, I say there are 3 ways. 3 ways we can approach FSBOs, okay? Number 1, we can call them and ask them how long they plan on selling their home themselves. And if they say no more than 3 weeks, awesome, I'll set you an appointment and you can go there to try to earn their business, right? To list their home. They only want to try to sell their home for 3 weeks. Great. So then you're going to look for a real estate agent. Yes, I am. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and set up an appointment now. That way you know who to hire when you haven't sold this in 3 weeks, if that comes, okay? So that's one approach. It doesn't work very well, okay? Because FSBOs are selling. FSBOs are selling in 3 weeks. That's why it doesn't work very well. Almost every single FSBO has a timeline of how long they're going to do it themselves. The problem is that it's not soon enough for you to do it for them because they're selling in this market, okay? Avenue number 2, we ask them if they're willing to work with you if you bring a buyer. What that means is, FSBO, are you willing to pay my client, my realtor, a buyer's commission if they bring you a qualified buyer and the deal closes? They almost always say yes. 90% of the FSBOs out there are willing to sign a commission agreement for you to bring them a buyer. We set an appointment for you to tour their house in person, take 20 minutes, get to know each other, and have that commission agreement in place before you bring a buyer. Okay, because we don't want to do business and paperwork in front of the buyer. We want to have that set up already. Why is that a value to you? That's a value to you because inventory is low on the market. And guess what? This for sale by owner is on Zillow. And guess where your buyers are shopping? Your buyers are shopping on Zillow. How many people out there want to bet me $500 that your buyer is going to find this FSBO on Zillow by themselves? And if you have a commission agreement signed, guess who's going to get a commission? You are, because they're going to contact them anyway if you don't show them that house. It's all out there. There's no hiding for sale by owners anymore, guys. So why wouldn't you want to have a commission agreement in place? If I was selling real estate right now, in this day and age, I would have all 400 FSBOs in the Phoenix metropolitan area under commission agreement with me. Okay? I would have a commission agreement that I can advertise their property, and that if I find the buyer, they're going to pay me a commission because buyers are already seeing it. I would go there. I would take the time. I would do it. I would get the contract in place, and I would go back to my buyers. And 12 years ago, we did this. We had to check the newspaper because Zillow didn't exist, but we paired our buyers up with for sale by owners, and then we helped the for sale by owner buy a new home. That's how we worked for sell by owners, okay? The third way to approach a FSBO, which happens to all work out in one script, okay? The third way to work a FSBO is to say, hey, what are your plans for purchasing property when this home sells? Are you guys planning on buying another home? Do you plan to move out of state? Are you guys gonna rent? Tell me more about your situation. Almost all of them want to buy another home. Almost all of them aren't currently working with a real estate agent because they just put their home for sale by owner, okay? These are the brand new ones that I'm talking about. So we say, great, what are you looking for? Are you already working with a lender? Okay, perfect. It doesn't cost you anything to work with me. What I'd like to do is come by, introduce myself in person. I can bring over some samples of what's on the market. And if you'd like, I can give you an idea of what I think that your home should sell for and help you stage your home or do anything else if you need any help with selling your home by yourself. But in the meantime, we can work together with finding you your new home. You can focus on this home. I can focus on your new home. When I show up there in person, I bring a buyer broker agreement that they're going to use me to get them their new home. All taken care of. I also bring with me a commission agreement where I talk to them right then in person saying, hey, if I were to find a buyer for your home, would you be willing to pay me a commission? Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and get that in place. And while I'm there, I tour their home. I talk about staging. I talk about taking off the personal belongings to make it approachable to everybody. Okay, and then anything else that I can think of with how they'll be successful with selling their home. I used to even have a checklist for sell by owners, a printout, where I would say, did you make sure they're pre-qualified before you let them in your house? Okay, how are you advertising your open houses? What are your terms? Where are you getting your contracts? Are you getting an attorney involved? I give them a checklist so that they know that they can do it on their own. I help them. I give them something of value. This doesn't mean that they're going to do it on their own. It doesn't at all. It just means that I've solidified that I know what I'm doing and they can trust me. Almost all of our for sale by owners that bought a house from us also hired us to list their home. And that's why I'm pulling my hair out explaining this to you guys, that there are so many for sale by owners on the market right now that need help, and you don't think that it's worth your time. Let that sink in for a minute. You don't think that it's worth your time to talk to somebody who has raised their hand to sell their home and who has raised their hand that wants to buy a new home and is willing to sign an agreement with you to use you. You don't think that it's worth your time. What do you think is worth your time? If that's not worth your time, what is? I am dying to know. Please comment below. Please tell me what else is worth your time. Your referral clients are absolutely worth your time. You returning your phone calls, absolutely worth your time. You working your Zillow leads, absolutely worth your time. So how does this not fit in with that? You have a ready, willing, and able person that wants to work with you, and they're willing to sign a buyer broker agreement. Many real estate agents out there pull their hair out because their current buyers won't sign that agreement. This is somebody who is already willing to do that. It's a no-brainer. So when you're calling FSBOs, you don't have to hire me. Call them yourself. Call up a FSBO. Say, hey, my name's Alita. I work with XY's Realty, right? Just want to call, introduce myself really quick. Do you still have your home for sale by owner? Okay, awesome. Well, what I want to do is call you really quickly, ask you how long you planned on selling it yourself. Okay, you're going to give it another 3 weeks. Perfect. So when this home does sell, where do you plan to move to? Okay, just across town, you're looking at a different school district. Awesome. Well, give me some of those details. Are you already working with a lender? No? Okay, I'll have mine call you this afternoon. You guys can just go over options and just make sure everything's taken care of. That way you're set to go. Okay, perfect. And while I have you on the phone, I'm just curious, if I were to have a buyer interested in your home, would you be willing to work with me? Would you be willing to pay a commission? If I had a buyer that was ready, willing, and able, and I could represent them through the closing, would you be open to that? And they say yes. I say, perfect. How about we go ahead and schedule a time tomorrow? Would 2 p.m. or 6 p.m. work better for you? Okay, great. What I'm going to do, just take 20 minutes, walk through your home. I'll have a commission agreement that you can review. And if you're comfortable, you can sign it. It's basically going to go through what you're going to pay me if I bring a buyer. What I'm also going to do is bring over homes to show you that are available in this school district and get an idea of what you're really looking for. That way, when I'm calling around to other for sale by owners, I can see if your perfect home exists. How does that sound? Okay, great. I'll see you tomorrow at 2. And oh, by the way, what's a good email address for you? I'm going to send you over my contact information just in case anything changes. And that way you can put a business to a name. Okay, wonderful. I look forward to meeting you tomorrow. Done. Appointment. I go over there. What's the worst that's going to happen? Okay, even if I had to drive 30 minutes, okay, I drive 30 minutes to this for sale by owner and I meet with them. What would need to happen for it to be a total waste of my time? Number one, they're not there. Okay, so I'm going to confirm the appointment before I get in my car that they're there. Okay, got that time waster out of there. All right. Number 2, what would be the second waste of my time by me going there? Worst case scenario. Okay, worst case scenario, they misunderstood everything. There's no way they're going to work with a real estate agent and they didn't say that they wanted to buy a home. Okay, has never happened ever. Okay, but that would be worst case scenario. Best case scenario, you know what's going to happen? They're going to want to review those documents with their husband and their attorney. And guess what? I'm going to come back over the next day and they're going to be signed. It happens all the time. And you guys are missing a huge lead pool. Okay? The days of having those hot, ready, willing, and able buyers and sellers coming from the internet being a cold call are few and far between. Why? Because everybody knows a real estate agent. So they're getting referred to their family realtor, their friend's realtor, the realtor that answered their call on Zillow, because that's where they're going at 10 o'clock at night, is to Zillow. And Zillow's responding. All right? If you have any questions about any of the stuff that I just said, send me a message. If you want the script that I just said, I can email it to you. No big deal. Okay? Send me a message. You can also send me a message through my website. I answer that all the time. It is connected to me and my office manager. Okay, 9 times out of 10, you'll get the response from me because I usually see them first. But that's going to take me to the next thing that I want to talk about with you guys is what is Zillow doing? If you are one of the top 3 preferred realtors in your area, Zillow is starting a test project to where they're only doing live transfers. If you don't answer, you don't get the lead. Okay? We can help you with that. We have a inbound call service where it's attached to a physical phone. We customize the caller ID, so when we call them back, they get a phone call from a phone with your area code. And it's $199 a month. We can answer the calls for you. That way you don't miss out on those leads. We also use that for our first response team. So people hire us to be their first responders when leads come in through their landing pages or Zillow or a service like that, and we call them within that 5 minutes. So far, we've been very successful. The longest somebody's had to wait is 15 minutes while we're on a phone call, and that's from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. in your time zone. Okay, but let's talk about what Zillow's doing. Zillow sent out a census to everyone that they had in their database, and they said, how can we improve our service? And the biggest issue that buyers had was that realtors weren't returning their phone calls or contacting them at all. I can attest to that absolutely firsthand. We are in the process of purchasing a home right now. I decided to go on Zillow because I wanted to meet some of the teams in the area that had ISAs. Maybe I could help them train their ISAs. Maybe I could just learn their systems. Maybe they wanted to use us. So I went on Zillow. I contacted 7 real estate agents before the one that I'm using right now contacted me. 7 real estate agents did not give me the time of day. Okay, and I know that I had some friends on Facebook here that referred me to their real estate agents. Unfortunately, where we're buying is in Plainfield, the Joliet area. That's outside of the city. And a lot of you that referred me real estate agents, they only work within the city. But we were able to find a really good realtor on Zillow that responded to us. She responded to me within an hour and a half. And then we did a phone call on Sunday. And then she referred me to one of her buyer's agents. And they're helping us right now through our transaction. So if just me personally had to get through 7 real estate agents to find one that took me seriously through Zillow, imagine the problem that Zillow's having right now. So now they're testing it with their top 3 agents in certain areas in the bigger cities. I just spoke with a wonderful owner of a team yesterday. We're going to help her out with her first response calls, okay? Hopefully it'll go really good through the Zillow stuff, through the Zillow live transfer, and I can use her as a recommendation. But Zillow now is live transferring the lead to you. If you don't answer, you don't get the lead. It doesn't get emailed to you. You don't get a notification. You don't get a copy of it. Okay, they do a live transfer. If you don't answer, it goes to somebody else. And you're still paying the same price, as far as I'm told. So no longer do you have a database of Zillow stuff just sitting there. It's not going to happen anymore. Zillow is getting tired of losing business because their realtors aren't answering their calls. Now, I got to play devil's advocate a little bit here, you guys, because I am almost in your favor as well. I know how busy you are, and you just need different systems in place. Okay, I know how busy a real estate agent is. We've tried the live transfer stuff. It doesn't work. It doesn't work because you guys are busy with clients. You guys are at showings. You guys are getting listing appointments. You guys are at closings. You guys are at home inspections. You guys are answering your phone, or you guys are having some much needed downtime to where you can't be a Pop-Tart, right? A Pop-Tart agent where you just jump up every time somebody needs you, okay? And we don't know how qualified these leads are. I'm sure you did respond to the first 25 leads off of Zillow. And I'm sure you did realize it was a ginormous waste of your time, because most people that first get on the internet aren't ready for 3 to 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, right? They're just looking, or they blow you off, or cold calls isn't your thing, or you weren't in a quiet place to get down their information, right? I know that you didn't just spend $6,000 a month on Zillow to not answer anybody. I get that. I'm on your side. As a real estate agent myself, if I would have been a Zillow agent and not have done cold calls the way that I do, I would have somebody on my team responsible for responding, because I know I wouldn't be able to do that. Okay. Even with my own company, I have leveraged out everything except for the client consultation calls, obviously being your guys' resource here on Facebook and through other social media, and responding to the overseeing the reports and making sure that we're providing a service for our clients. Everything else is leveraged out. Okay. The initial setup, the account setup, the payments, everything is leveraged out internally. You can't do it all. So when you're a solo agent, or even when you're running a team and you're in charge of being the first responder for your data, you can't do it all. People are going to be missed. Things are going to be missed. Even this real estate agent that responded to me, she took an hour and a half. And I was getting a little bit defeated. I'm like, well, shoot, it's a Saturday. It's a Saturday at 11. I had to wait till 12:30. I'm like, well, maybe she's at showings, But then I was a little bit, disheartened because she didn't have a system in place to help me. We have our first response team here on Saturday, to where when a lead comes in, we can call them right away for you guys and set up appointments. And it's going really good. I don't know if you saw my post the other day, but we called 32 contacts. I think it was, we set 3 appointments, 5 nurtures, and scheduled 7 callbacks. And then a few of them have already relisted, sold, or purchased. They were just checking other values or planning a future thing. And, we have them in the nurture system, right? But Zillow is getting ahead of you guys now. And their solution being a live transfer isn't going to work with your business unless you're starting out. But if you're starting out, you're probably not paying the huge fees on Zillow. So if you've made it to the point in your business to where you can afford Zillow, you're probably too busy to accommodate the live transfers. And then you're not going to be getting any leads. You're not going to just have the leads sitting around to call later on that night. It's not going to work out. They're giving them to somebody else. Okay. So the good news is that you guys can be ahead of the game and get systems in place, okay? Now would be a great time to hire that admin to hire a buyer's agent, to train your buyer's agent on answering their phones. And even sometimes buyer's agents are too busy. You can call us and ask us, or you can message me directly. You can text me, 815-278-0284. That's my direct phone. Ask me about what the live transfer system would look like if you used us. But if you don't have to use my service, I can help you guys set up a system. You can handle it internally still. You just need to be prepared. Because you're going to be paying $6,000 a month now, or $2,000 a month, and you're not even going to have a database to market to through email. They're going to go to somebody else. Okay. So I want to talk about circle prospecting and building your database through circle prospecting. Let me just turn this around. I got to turn this board around. And then we'll go through that. There is a pretty big trend right now with circle prospecting. I don't think any other ISA company really out there does the circle prospecting calls. I think some of the VA companies are trying to incorporate it, but we do the circle prospecting at a really high level. I actually have a few really big projects going on right now, and I think that they're being successful. I'm running into the same problems of the agents not calling their leads back because they don't think that they're hot enough, and it's really frustrating for me. So circle prospecting can be a huge success. Hey Dan, how's it going? Good to hear from you as always. I gotta plug my phone in, I'm losing power. All right, so let me make sure that my phone's being charged while we're doing this. Okay, cool. I don't know how many times I've lost power with you guys using Facebook Live. It drains the battery really bad on my iPhone. Okay, circle prospecting. Circle prospecting can be awesome, okay? It's actually a phenomenal way to build your farm. It's a phenomenal way to get through a ton of data and get through a really nice usable list of good name, good phone number, good email address. Okay, it's a phenomenal tool to use. There's some expectations versus reality that I wanted to go over with you guys. Okay, I try to put a little humor in it with some pictures, and anyway, well, one picture there, you even got a heart too. And if you see this on the backboard there, my son drew a picture, and I promised him that I wouldn't erase it for at least 24 hours. So he has until 8 o'clock tonight to take a picture of it, and then I get my whiteboard back. So here we go. So circle prospecting, expectation versus reality. The expectations that you guys normally have when I'm in your group forums and when you talk to me, this is usually what I see, okay? You're really, really excited. My idea is awesome. I'm a genius. No one's thought of this before. Get this, Alita. What do you think of this idea? What do you think of this script, okay? Everybody's gonna love to hear from us because no one else is calling. They have this false expectation that nobody else is doing this. They're gonna wake Miss Betty up, and she's just gonna be thrilled to hear from somebody because a realtor hasn't contacted her in 20 plus years. And then the other expectation they get is I'll get the next 20 listings and the zip code easy. They think they're gonna get a ton of business from the circle prospecting project the first time through. And I hate to be a Debbie Downer in this situation, guys, but unless you're picking a neighborhood that is in somewhat of a balanced market and the values are increasing and no other real estate agent is really prospecting it really hard, we're going to go over the reality of it, okay? So the expectation, I know that that's extreme, but you guys get very, very excited that this project is going to work at a really, really high level. And then when you don't get these results in the first week, you lose all hope, okay? And a week of doing circle prospecting, if you're only in it for a week, honestly, like, don't even start. And that's with anything. Like, if you are only going to be like, okay, well, I'll try this for a week, anything in sales, don't even start doing it because it's going to be a waste of everybody's time and energy, okay? The reality of circle prospecting, best case scenario, 100 dials, 25 people answer, you're going to get a hot lead that wants more information, and 2 nurtures, okay? Let me break this down. If you get a really good data source, cold directory, okay, you don't just purchase it off the internet from Fiverr or somebody who says that this data is gold. Okay, you don't do that. You get a good data source call directory. You call through it between 4:30 and 7:30 at night. Okay, you got to pick a good time of day to call. And you call through it with a good value. Okay. Good value could be, we just sold a home in your area. It was an equity listing. It was low days on the market. We helped them find a home across town. We just listed a home in your area. There's not much competition. We're getting a great response. We are investors in your area to where we could buy your home cash. What price would you want it? You don't have to work with a real estate agent. You don't have to worry about buyers. We can work around your time frame. We can have a lengthy closing, right? You do the investor call. You can do we have a buyer in your area, or we have lots of buyers looking to move into your zip code. What are your plans to sell? You can even do the calls for lenders. Are you looking to refinance? Looks like you've been in your home 5+ years. Interest rates are still low. Calling on behalf of your lender, or your lender calling on behalf of you, is still a really great way to do circle prospecting calls. But best case scenario, if you get the time of day right, you get the data source right, the expectation of getting the next 20 listings in your area is plausible if you're willing to return some phone calls. Okay, what a hot lead looks like with circle prospecting is this. When I get a hot lead during circle prospecting, they have an interest in selling their home in the next 3 to 6 months. They want to know what their current market values would be, and they also want to know if their new home exists. Okay? If we're doing investor calls, a hot lead would be, I won't sell for a penny under $400,000, but if you can get me $400,000, I'll sell next week. Okay, awesome. Would you believe that some people think that that's a waste of their time? Every single day in my office, I have clients that hire me, they get those results, and it's a waste of their time. Okay? So, and the two nurtures, before I move on from that, the two nurtures are going to be, yeah, we were thinking about downsizing. Our son has 6 months left of high school, and then we're not sure what college he's going to choose, but after that, we're going to downsize. Okay, perfect. Well, if you're the specialist in that area and you want business in that area, then these would be somebody to follow up with every 3 months so that you can build a relationship with them. That's a buy-sell lead. That's a great way to build your farm. And if you keep in touch with them, they probably know their neighbors. Okay? So circle prospecting is a great farming tool if you're going to actually be the preferred realtor in the area. If you're actually going to be known, if you're going to introduce yourself, if you're going to actually help the people that want to be helped and keep in touch with them, that's when it becomes a value for your time. At the very least, you need to call the hot leads back. Okay? Very rarely, I think it's like more like 1% of the time with circle prospecting, do you get somebody that says, oh yeah, I was just talking to my husband last night and we actually want to sell next month because we're moving to Florida. Okay, that very rarely happens. That's 1% of the time. So, I mean, if you're not going to work your hot leads and you don't care about your nurtures and all you want is same day appointments, circle prospecting is not for you. Okay? And then worst case scenario with your data, you do those same 100 dials, you get 5 people to answer their phone and they all tell you to piss off. Okay. And your results is going to be very dependent on the area that you chose. A lot of the popular areas are flooded with realtors. They get postcards, they do door knocking, they do mailers, they get lots and lots and lots of contact from real estate agents. All right. So if your grandiose idea, not to be sarcastic, okay, but I'm going to be a little sarcastic, okay? If your grandiose idea is to pick an area that every single realtor in your metropolitan area wants that, you're going to be competing. So if you're going to be competing, you're not going to be getting a list of people that haven't heard from a realtor in a long time. You're just another postcard. You're just another phone call. You're just another person that's harassing them on their phone. And I'm not saying that it's not possible, okay? I'm not saying that it's not possible at all right? I want to use Scottsdale, Arizona as an example, okay? I used to live there. I used to work there. I never did business there. Okay, the reason why I never did business there is because everybody wanted to do business there. I did business in Chandler and Gilbert and Levine and Cave Creek and those places because it wasn't a flooded area. if you want to farm an area, I'm not saying don't farm Scottsdale or your version of Scottsdale. Everybody has their own version of Scottsdale, right? If you're in Georgia, there's going to be an area there where every realtor wants to be known there, right? In Chicago, we have our areas where every realtor wants to be there. I live 20 minutes away from Naperville. Almost every realtor wants to get listings there. It's a very sought after area. And we always have our veteran realtors there that have a huge referral database, and they're hard to compete with. It's not impossible. And at some point, they're going to need to pass the baton, right? There's one that's retiring in Naperville right now, and she's been in that area for 20 plus years. So guess who's going to get the baton? That next person that put in their time to farm the area and present value. And every area needs their Pepsi and Coke. Every area needs their competition, okay? I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying let's adjust your expectations to what you're going for. If you're going for a quick result, I wouldn't do circle prospecting unless a hot lead to you is, I won't sell a penny under 400,000. If you can get me that price, I'll sell tomorrow. Okay? If that is your idea of a hot lead and you want to go do a CMA and see what they can sell it for, and you're going to call them back and say, hey, Susie, I can sell your home for $415. Where do you want to move? Okay? And you call her back and you find her a new home and you get that home taken care of. You either buy it or list it, whatever you're going to do. Okay? If you're not that serious about the leads that you get, I wouldn't even start. All right? Now, I've heard that there's a huge name out there that have built this enormous database just on circle prospecting. Okay? I don't know if it's true or not. Okay? I didn't do any circle prospecting for him. Okay? But when he advertises his business model, he claims to have done it off of circle prospecting. Now, I've done circle prospecting for myself to where I know that if I'm doing circle prospecting in an area where I don't care what kind of business it is, I'm here to stay. And if I get any type of lead or any type of nurture, I'm going to be ecstatic. Any type of callback, any type of person that wants to hear from me, okay? The circle prospecting over the phone is going to be more efficient than door knocking because you can do more. Not that the results are better or different. You can just do more in a shorter period of time. Okay. So it's not impossible, but you can't pick a very popular area and think that you're the only person out there that had that idea and think that you're the only person out there that can do it, because you're going to get deflated really, really quick. And before you start circle prospecting, I just want you to ask yourself, how long are you in it before you make a sale? Because if you're going to give up before 6 months of getting paid on your efforts, don't do it. Just like with real estate agents, okay? Don't get into real estate if you don't want to go without a paycheck for 6 months, okay? Because even if I do circle prospecting for you and I get Susie that will sell her home for $400,000 and you can sell it for $415, guess what? You're still not going to be able to get that listed for 45 days because you got shit to do. This is a commission-based business. This is sales. This is people making decisions. You're getting paid based on Susie making a decision. She has to make a decision before you can get paid. She has to buy a new house. She has to pack up her shit. She has to sign the contracts. You have to go through closing. You have to make sure there's no liens on the title before you get paid. That's what you need to decide before you going into it. Is this worth it? Because when I get hired by somebody to do circle prospecting and we get them results and they think that they're all garbage because all of them expect another return phone call before they get paid, I'm out, guys. I don't know what more you want. I'm at a loss. I literally drive home shaking my head, wishing that I could just go be licensed in that state and work those people. Because I would be a gazillionaire by now, working all of the leads that I got for all of my clients that they neglected. And it's just that mindset, right? If you go into it thinking, if I get anything from this, anybody that wants to hear back from me, I can earn their business. I am someone worth working with, right? I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to give them something of value. I'm going to keep in touch with them. Okay, if that's your mindset, awesome. That is perfect. Okay, especially if you go into it going, well, I'm not an investor, but I could probably find somebody that would pay cash for that. So if Susie wants to sell at $400,000 cash and she doesn't want to work with a lender or a buyer because she's worried about it, I bet I could put a post on Facebook and find someone Cash, boom, private investor. If you're that creative and you can think like that, circle prospecting is made for you. Okay, because not only are the results unpredictable, okay, we can have averages, okay? We've done very, very well with it with the people that have the right mindset and the right plan. Okay, I do have clients that are making a living and building their database on circle prospecting, and it's a very well thought out plan, and they're very creative, and they can put a lead with anything. They can find a place for it. They can make money off of it. And most salespeople can make money off of anything, okay? If I get them somebody that wants to do something, they can figure out how to make money off of them, okay? But when you have this really small window of where a person will fit into, it's really hard for us to deliver those results to you. Okay. Hey, buddy.
Do you know where my chapstick is?
Your chapstick's in my purse. My purse is over there. My son starts summer camp tomorrow, so he's over there in the other room. Okay, so any other questions that you guys have on circle prospecting, let me know. If you're mailing out postcards, it is awesome to call and make sure that they got them. Before you mail them out, have a plan, okay? Don't just have a bunch of people over for beers and have them start shooting a dart at your city map, and wherever a dart lands, you're gonna mail out postcards. I mean, because that's what it feels like most of the time. You know, you guys send us over this data of where you guys have mailers out. I mean, hell, we just did a project in Louisiana where they sent out mailers and they don't even want the homes in that area. We're sending them homes of where they sent postcards and they don't even want the damn leads. Oh, that's too low of a price point. I don't want that. Why'd you mail them a postcard? Come on, really? Let's have a real conversation about this. You know, now I'm the jerk because I got you the lead somewhere that you didn't want, but you're the one that mailed them a postcard. I mean, come on. You know, and yeah, we can laugh about it now because I'm like, yo, why did you mail them that if you don't want it? Okay? So get a plan together. Don't just pull the trigger. Okay? And if you're not a methodical planner, have somebody that's in your team that is. Look over on the MLS, look at the stats in that area. Look at the average price point. If you signed up with Cold Directory and you can call them, you can use my code ISA Experts, okay? My rep will call you. They'll take really good care of you. Let me know when you do so I can thank you and help you out. My data guy can show you how to use it if you don't want to use their videos, okay? Or if you don't want to use their reps, my data guy can help you, okay? We do this all day long. Look up in MLS the stats. How many homes have sold in the last year? What are the price points? Are the values increasing? How many homes are currently available? Okay. Now you know those stats, then you go to Cold Directory. You pull that subdivision that you want, that has the price point that you want, that has the area that you want, that has the results that you want. Maybe it's an area you door knocked before. You door knocked it, now you're gonna send them a postcard, okay, and then we're gonna do a phone call for you. Okay, and this is an area where you're passionate about helping people. So any of the leads that we get out of it, you're gonna want. You're gonna put them into your CRM, you're gonna nurture them, you're gonna blast them emails, you're gonna send them Christmas cards, you're gonna drop off a pie, right? You have a plan together for this area for you to be the preferred realtor in this area. Or maybe you just work with investors and you just want that quick close. You want the person that'll sell cash and they don't wanna have to deal with real estate agents and buyers, the mainstream process, okay? So you mail out a postcard. Pick the area that you want to be in. Maybe get a list from your title company of secondary homeowners where it's a different type of mortgage. It's their secondary home. Maybe you get the places that are rentals. You mail them postcards, okay? And when you have that list, then you want to sit down, you want to get into Mojo Dialer or just hand dial, and you want to call those people, make sure they received your postcard within 24 hours, 72 hours, excuse me. Or you can hire us, right? $1 a dial. Or for a full service, right, where we can transfer it to your CRM, we can make notes, we can get the appointments on your calendar, right, or the nurtures, and we can nurture them for you, okay? But have a plan together and have a good data source. Call them, mail them postcards, do it, but you do it consistently. And that's gonna lead me to my ending here, okay? How I wanted to end this little rant. Hopefully I can inspire you guys a little bit. to just look at your business a little bit differently. You'll have to, don't mind my son's drawing, okay? I guess it's somebody that found a treasure. Anyway, this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about, okay? How do you win? Consistency. Consistency. If you're not going to do it for 6 months, don't do it at all. In the lead generation world, prospecting world, you're not going to get true results for 90 days. If you're not in it for 90 days, don't even bother starting. Okay? Provide constant value. Don't just call people and give them one little piece of value. If you're not giving them value 3 times in a row in that first week or two, they're gonna forget you. Okay? Constant value. Is this your lifestyle or is this just a trend for you? Are you the salesperson that actually wants to help people, or are you just in it for a quick buck? Okay? And work the maybes. You are in sales. The maybes pay you. You're going to work half as hard if you started working your maybes than trying to always chase after that hot lead. Remember the car salesman analogy. Okay? If you were somebody that sold cars for a living and someone came up to you, or excuse me, they drove up and you said, great, are you here for a Honda or a Civic? I mean, an Accord or a Civic. And they said, oh, I'm not sure. And you just walked right inside and you said, okay, when you figure it out, let me know. That's what you're doing in real estate to these clients that you're not giving time to when they're maybes, when they want more information. A maybe just wants more information, and you have to provide value to see how you're going to work with them. Okay? You know what? I have a lot of ISAs out on their lunch right now. We don't do a ton of dialing in the afternoons. We do most of our dialing in the morning and the evening. So I'm going to post something on my Facebook story later with stuff about my call center, the ISAs taking live calls, and that way you guys can get a glimpse into that. Okay, if you have any questions about a plan, your data, what to do, anything that I went over, send me a DM. You can email me directly, alitasarno@gmail.com. You can also send me a text message, 815-278-0284. Hope to hear from you guys. Have an awesome day. Go make some money. Let me know how it goes. Take care.